On a rainy afternoon in Los Angeles, Ellen DeGeneres, fresh off her daytime talk show, decided to take a quiet moment for herself at a local coffee shop. She had just wrapped up a busy day and was looking for a peaceful escape. While waiting in line, she overheard a young man at the counter telling the barista, "It's been really hard to find work as a comedian here." The young man's name was Mike. He had come to Los Angeles with big dreams of making it in comedy. He had the talent, the wit, and the passion. But the reality of the industry was much tougher than he had imagined. After years of doing open mix and small gigs at dive bars, Mike was feeling defeated. The comedy clubs were overcrowded, and the constant rejection was wearing him down. Despite his best efforts, he couldn't seem to catch a break. Every night, he poured his heart into his set, hoping for the big moment when a club owner or talent scout would finally notice him. But so far, nothing had changed. He was at the point where he considered going back to his small town. He just didn't know if he had the energy to keep fighting. Ellen, who had faced her own struggles when building her career, immediately recognized the exhaustion in Mike's eyes and the weight he carried on his shoulders. She had been through it herself, struggling to break into the comedy world before her career took off. She knew exactly what it felt like to have people doubt you, even when you knew you had something special to offer. "Rough day?" Ellen asked with her usual warmth. Mike, a little taken aback but grateful for the friendly face, nodded. "Yeah. You could say that. I'm just trying to make it as a comedian. It's harder than I thought." Ellen smiled sympathetically. "Yeah, it's tough. But I'm telling you, don't give up. If this is your passion, you have to keep going. You never know when things will turn around." Mike couldn't believe what he was hearing. Ellen DeGeneres, someone he had admired for years, was telling him not to give up. That small conversation lifted his spirits, but it was about to get even better. Ellen reached into her bag and pulled out her business card. "Listen," she said, "I know a lot of people in the comedy world. I'd be happy to help you out. Maybe I can get you a spot on my show or connect you with some people who can help you take the next step." Mike's eyes widened in disbelief. He had dreamed of this moment, getting an opportunity to perform for someone who could actually make a difference in his career. He never imagined it would come from Ellen, the very person whose comedy had inspired him to pursue this path. A few weeks later, true to her word, Ellen invited Mike to her show. Mike had dreamed of this moment for years, but when it was finally his turn, he was beyond nervous. This was his big chance, and it felt like the weight of the world was on his shoulders. When Mike stepped onto the stage, hundreds of eyes were on him. He was facing one of the biggest audiences he had ever performed for. But something unexpected happened. His jokes fell flat. The audience wasn't laughing, and Mike, feeling his confidence slipping away, could feel the tension building. His nerves grew, and he began to stumble. Every joke he tried seemed to land with a thud, and the silence in the room felt like it was suffocating him. He had no idea what to do next, and he felt completely lost. He was sure the audience could sense his insecurity. He thought to himself, "I messed up. This is it. I can't recover from this." Ellen, who was watching from the sidelines, immediately saw that Mike was struggling. He was experiencing what might be every comedian's worst nightmare, performing in front of an audience that just wasn't responding. Ellen knew that this moment could either make or break him, and she decided to step in. In a split second, Ellen grabbed the microphone and jumped into the performance. "You know, sometimes we all face tough moments, right?" she said, trying to lighten the mood. "Mike here is showing us how it feels when your material just doesn't land. But hey, it happens to the best of us." She winked at Mike, then added, "Mike, don't worry, we're all feeling it with you right now, but you've got this." The crowd started to laugh, and the atmosphere shifted. Ellen's spontaneous intervention gave Mike the break he needed. He caught his breath and continued with his set. As the audience began to warm up, Mike's confidence returned. He found his rhythm again, delivering his jokes with more energy and self-assurance. By the time he wrapped up his set, the audience was laughing and applauding. It wasn't just about the laughs, it was the way the crowd responded to his resilience. Ellen had believed in him when no one else had, and now he was starting to believe in himself again. A few months later, thanks to Ellen's support, Mike's career took off. He started getting invited to perform at major comedy clubs, appeared on late-night shows, and gained a solid following. His appearance on Ellen's show had given him the exposure he desperately needed, and soon, he was offered the opportunity to film his own stand-up special. Mike had gone from a struggling comedian on the brink of quitting to a rising star in the comedy world. One evening, after a sold-out show, Mike received a message from Ellen. "You did it." The message read, "I knew you had it in you. So proud of you." Mike smiled. He had achieved his dream, but he knew he would never forget the person who had given him that first real opportunity. Conclusion: Mike's story is a powerful reminder that sometimes all it takes is one person to believe in you when you're ready to give up. Ellen DeGeneres' act of kindness didn't just lift Mike's spirits, it gave him a platform to showcase his talent and a second chance at his dreams. It's a story of resilience, support, and the impact one gesture can have on someone's life and career.